Dave, I remember in the old days, you used to accuse me of parroting the liberal blogosphere. And you'd come on and kick my ass about that. So what do you think happened? Did I? Well, first of all, the liberal blogosphere doesn't even exist anymore. So maybe that's part of what happened. But through those years, the MSNBC years, the blogosphere years, etc., do you have a sense of the evolution of TYT and what you think happened on air?
Well, before I answer that, let me make 2 comments on the comments. When you started reading it, it said the army sent my spouse to Fort Washington, and I was thinking the TYT army is sending spouses? Oh no, the real army sent.
I thought the same exact thing, Dave.
And then as far as Anna goes, she's changed. So if this guy or this woman wasn't that into Anna 12 years ago and loves her now, that's fine. Anna, she is now such a strong voice that she wasn't before. But as to the question, I mean, I need more time, but you have evolved and matured and seen more and more data, more politics and more news, and you've seen different points of view from the liberal blogosphere, more even better or more leftist or whatever you want to call them points of view, and you've expanded and nuanced your points of view, and it all comes out on air. I mean, it's an evolving thing.
Yeah, that's fair. So
and also, when you were parroting the liberal blogosphere, part of it was just a strategy. We were the little guy, and all the liberal blogosphere was bigger than we were. So you were just trying to hop on that wagon.
Who was part of this blogosphere?
So that's a good question, Steve. So back in the day, it was Arianna Huffington.
Oh yes.
And Crooks and Liars. John Amato ran that. Think Progress, believe it or not, was part of that when Judd Lugham and Faz Shakir ran it. Faz Shakir eventually wound up becoming Bernie Sanders' campaign manager in 2020. And so there's tons of good blogs and Daily Kos, and some of those blogs wound up doing amazing things. One of the old school liberal bloggers was Glenn Greenwald. He had started as a blogger, and so obviously he went on to do amazing things. And there's a turn at the end. I don't know. Anyway, I still have hope in Glenn. I remember, so I'll tell you guys more inside baseball stuff that I think you'll find interesting. We used to have a Wednesday call, and it was, I think it was led by David Brock, which is funny, right? Because David Brock and I wound up not hating each other, it's not personal, but certainly being opposed to one another. He took the corporate wing of the party, I took the progressive wing of the party. But back then, Al Franken was on the call, Arianna Huffington was on the call. And so, and then a whole bunch of bloggers were on the call, and somehow I snuck on there. Anyway, back then I was like tiny compared to those guys. But they were all respectful of everybody that was on the call, and I was a loudmouth and stuff. But if you're a conservative out there going, "Aha, we knew it," right? That we never achieved anything. We could never agree. Nobody ever followed anybody's ideas. It was until everybody just stopped calling in. Even I was like, okay, like Al Franken and all these powerful people are on, but so what? We never get anything accomplished.
Was this the same time you were on Air America?
I don't think we were on Air America quite yet at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, because, you know what, Dave? I'm gonna jump to this story. So you remember how it's because it's been a long time since we've told this story on air. How you tried to get Al Franken on the show before we were on Air America. So you wanna tell him that, Dave?
Yeah, sure. So because we were little guys, Al Franken being on Air America was big. We were trying to ride anyone's coattails that we could, and we wanted to get Cenk on Al Franken's radio show. And Cenk and I and whoever else we asked tried, and it wouldn't work. So one day I called the producer of Al Franken's show, and I got on the phone with him or her, and I said, "I know that Cenk was booked for today. I'm sorry, we have to cancel on you. Can we book for another day?" And they were flabbergasted and flummoxed. Like, what? Oh, we had Cenk Uygur booked for today. Oh, let me check. And they checked, and they called me back, and it didn't work, but I got their attention anyway.
No, Dave was so great at that, and it was so fun. They were like, okay, I actually think you have the story reversed, but maybe I do. You were trying to get Al Franken on the show, and you said we had him booked and stuff, and they almost got Al Franken to the phone. That's my recollection. But either way, right? We almost had it, and then at the last thing, they're like, wait, who booked it?
Yeah. They apologized and said, all right, we'll reschedule and I'll call you back. So we were almost there, and then they called back and said, no, it ain't happening.
Now, those are the good old days when Dave would just go sit in the first class seat of an airplane with the cheapest coach ticket that he had. And he would just sit there in first class, and didn't it work a couple of times, Dave? And just sat there and they didn't kick you out?
Yeah, it worked, but now you're talking about those were old days. That was pre 9/11. There was a lot going on then.
Yeah, that was definitely pre 9/11. So that's not going to fly anymore, literally. Yeah, and then eventually, of course, we got on Air America, and eventually we did interview Al Franken, and then we told him that story. Yeah. And I don't remember if he loved it or hated it. It could go either way with Al Franken, but we should get him back on.
He probably has time.
Yeah, well, unfortunately.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.